Questions about Tier 1 interventions in general, or Tier 1 for students with, Tier 1 is Tier 1. All students in the school participate in the Tier 1 intervention, right? We just want to make sure that our kids can also participate in that, and that the Tier 1 intervention has been designed in a way that allows students with autism and other developmental disabilities to be part of Tier 1, to be part of the school-wide piece of this. Questions?
Hi, my name is Matthew, and I'm an SSA in the Vancouver School Board.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if you have a really easy resource to point to for school administrators that I can say, hey, go look there.
So there's a great website. So this website, www.pbis.org, Positive Behavior Interventions and Support.org, has like a ton of stuff. Right? It's out of the States, but school-wide PBS is school-wide PBS, right? And there are actual sections that you can click on for Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. There's a section for administrators, a section for parents, a section for teachers. You can click all over and get people-specific and tier-specific interventions and supports. So this is your go-to website. School-wide PBS actually the model really came out of the States. There are school-wide PBS schools in British Columbia, and there's a school-wide PBS website that I don't have on here, but I will find and give to you after lunch. That's a BC school-wide PBS website. There are school-wide PBS schools in Vancouver, not very many, but a few, right? And that's cool. So one thing that's often helpful is to have an administrator talk to another administrator who's doing it and say, this has really made a difference in my school, maybe you should try it in your school, right? At this point in time, by last count, and this was like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, 25% of schools in the United States are PBIS school, 25%. Something like 30,000 schools. Yeah. This has become a thing, right? A thing in the US. It's slower here, but there are certainly schools in BC doing it, and there's been quite a bit of uptake in Alberta as well. But it's a bit slower, right? Yeah. Yes, hello.
Hi. My question is maybe addressed by the same website. Just wondering how to convince other staff who are concerned that praise and acknowledgement decreases internal motivation for kids to behave well if we aren't rewarding with external rewards.
Yeah, I know. There's this whole thing. It saddens me that some professionals, I'm trying to figure out how to say this diplomatically, choose to ignore a robust research base that demonstrates very clearly that use of positive reinforcement does not decrease intrinsic motivation, right? I am here to tell you that that's not what the research says, right? I'm not lying to you. I have no vested interest in lying to you. I don't even know you, do I? Right? But some people believe this is the difference between science and belief, right? Right? The science says the use of positive reinforcement in any way does not decrease intrinsic motivation. Some people believe it does. It's like if I went on the roof of this building and said, I don't believe in gravity, and I jumped off. I would fall because the science of gravity says you will fall, right? So I don't know how to change belief systems. If I knew how to change belief systems, I would win the Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Prize for Economics, the Nobel, right? Right? I don't know how to change a belief system when people are not willing to acknowledge the science. But if they are, the science is very clear, right? So my go-to strategy always is, let me show you the science and see if that will help you change your belief system. But if it won't, I ain't got no magic, right? Does that help? I would go to the science.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
I mean, that's the best way to go,
Yeah,
right?
thank you.
Because the science is the science. But some people don't care about science. I mean, I get that, right? I get that. I do get that. It makes me sad, but I do get that, right? Yeah.
I sort of impulsively stood up.
Oh, good for you.
Because I think, what if we went to their reward system and told them how good they would feel when the whole school was acting like this, or to try it and go to that marketing?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes
way.
that will work. I know you don't believe this, but let's try it for 3 months and see what happens. But then they have to be willing to actually try it for 3 months. And if they can't get past the belief to even try, then I don't know what to do.
What you suggested with even piloting it, just starting small, that's come
Sure.
up a few times, piloting it in one environment with one
Or
of these rules or one behavior.
One thing that I've seen work is, here's a school, here are the teachers in the classrooms that want to try this, here's people who don't, right? Okay, you don't have to. We'll try it. We'll keep data. Maybe if you see data from your own school on the reduction of problem behavior and the increase in pro-social behavior, that will change your mind about your willingness to try it, or maybe it won't, right? So we've now split the school into willingness people and not willingness people, but we're going to forge ahead with the willingness people, right? I've seen that work. It's not ideal, right? Right? And it creates rifts between staff, like, I'm on board, you're not, right? This is not a cool thing for the culture of the school, right? So, but how to bring people along is a tricky business. The other thing that's really important to understand about school-wide PBS is it's not antithetic to other initiatives. So I can be doing Roots of Empathy in a school-wide PBS school, right? I can be doing Second Step. I can be doing other kinds of, be doing an anti-bullying program. I can do SOGI. I can do all kinds of other things in a school-wide PBS school. It's not like, well, we don't do that anymore. We only do school-wide PBS, right? It can go together with other initiatives, right? The other thing that can be really, so if a school is quite married to a particular model already, which may not be working, which is why they're considering something else, right? I can also reframe everything that I've just talked about in school-wide PBS using the language of that model, right? Like, I don't talk about reinforcement anymore. I talk about, I say that, I use a different kind of word to talk about that, because that's the word that people are more comfortable with. I mean, I don't care, like Eileen said it this morning, I don't care what you call it, just do it.
I see a number of schools over the last 7 years I've worked in schools doing it sort of piecemeal, but actually I've never been part of the staff meeting where I heard what it was, but they're doing slices of this, so yeah.
Yeah, I know, and it's a package. I mean, you can, you can do bits and pieces of it, but you're not going to get the same results as if you. I mean, tier 1 is tier 1. It hangs together. If you miss a piece, like reinforcing pro-social behavior, like, that's the core piece. So if you're not doing that and you're doing everything else, you're not doing tier 1, really. It's kind of like being a little bit, pregnant. I mean, it just doesn't work.